8 months ago, oh my god, we started Judge's Decision, the robot. I can't even. It's been so long, I can't even remember the bloody name. Judge's Decision, the Robot Fantasy League, or something like that.
Something like that, man. I mean, there's been all sorts happening since then. World War III, a pandemic. Yeah, I don't know. It was such a simpler time, wasn't it? Back 8 months ago.
Yeah, we needed a fantasy league back then. Now we don't. Now we've got enough on our plate. But for some reason, we've still not finished this. So, Anderson, today we bury this.
Finally, it is finally time for the final of this fantasy league. No more headaches over trying to decide who the hell should win. No more arguments between us two. No more you turning up on my doorstep, bloodied up because you've just gone and murdered my next door neighbours because you thought they were me.
Oh, that was a fun evening.
Yeah.
Good.
I bury the bloody bastards.
I know, right? Okay, so you've heard me, you've heard Anderson. There's little else we need to say other than who's in this bloody final. From Heat A, we had the wonderful overhead spinner. That's overhead spinner. Get in a hole if you think it's a hammer saw. It's Skorpios from BattleBots 2019.
Yes, it is an overhead spinner. It just is.
It is. From Robot Wars Series 10, in Heat B, we had Magnetar. He's a boy genius and such. Any comments on Magnetar?
It's Magnetar.
It is. I can't
It is
follow
an
the
awesome
logic.
robot. An awesome robot. I love Magnetar.
Fantastic machine. From Heat 3, we had Toxic 2 from Robots Live, the only Brit flipper to make it through. Although, no, it wasn't the only Brit flipper to be in the competition. That's fine.
Yeah. Will they have a flipping good time, though?
I doubt it. From Heat 4, or D for death, Valkyrie from BattleBots 2018 made its way through. Quite a surprise, that one, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's got an undercutter and now it's an underdog.
It is. He's back. Kicking butt or what? From Heat, question mark, it's Spectre from King of Bots 2019. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
It is gorgeous. It is a gorgeous robot.
When an art bot becomes effective, run.
Yeah, I know. What is this?
And from the last episode we did, the 10 Robot Rumble, Hypershock made its way through to take the win and took the 6th place in the grand final. Indeed. Right, we have a formality to do because for the first time in this series, we need to decide who's in what melee, and that's not just going to be me going, yeah, that one there, or you going, yeah, that one there, or the executive producer going, yeah, same. We're going to use Wheel Decide, my favourite Wheel Decide app. The way this is going to work, I have inputted all the names of the competitors that are going to be competing in this episode, stuck them onto a wheel, and we're just going to give it a spin to see who comes out. Anderson can't see what's happening, so I'm going to try and react and he can guess who it's going to be, or something, I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I'm going to guess. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen, place your bets. Who's going to be in Melee 1?
What I'm really looking forward to is when I've spun it, you say who you think it is, but the whole audience can see who it is. So you're just going to be guessing random names, and it's going to be something completely different. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. Here we go then. The wheel, it is spinning. Who is it, Anderson?
I'm guessing it's going to be Hypershock.
No, it's Skorpios, you fool.
I knew that.
There's going to be an element of me writing things in as well in between time.
I've got to get one of these right, surely.
I mean, at one point it's going to just be deduction, isn't it?
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, here we go again.
Spectre.
No, it's Magnetar.
Fuck's sake.
What I'm really hoping is that it's not just going to select these in order, because that would just be a waste of everyone's time.
It wouldn't be very random, would it?
Okay, here we go. Number 3.
Is it Toxic too?
That's Hypershock.
Ah! I'll get you next time. Randomizer thingy.
Okay, here we go.
I'm gonna say Valkyrie.
Oh my god, you got it right.
Yes. Well, to be honest, was there any point in us continuing now? Because we've got the
Yes,
melee.
we're doing it. I'm committed. Here we go.
It's important who comes into the arena first.
Okay, who is it?
Oh, who have we got left? Oh God, I've forgotten who we got left. Is it Spectre?
Yeah, Spectre.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna spin the wheel. At this point, there is only one name on this wheel.
You know what? It's the one I can't remember.
That's right. It's Toxic 2. Nice.
Yeah, there we go. Oh, of course it is. Shit, yeah. Sorry, because I just said Toxic 2, I forgot that I was wrong, so I just thought that one had already been and wasn't an option anymore.
Okay, so that's that sorted. Melee 1, Anderson. We have Skorpios from BattleBots 2019, Magnetar from Robot Wars Series 10, and Hypershock from BattleBots 2019. Who would you like as a house robot?
I want to throw Shunt in there.
Oh, he a good boy.
He is a good boy.
Lovely. Okay. 3 vertically spinning weapons, not necessarily all verts. This is a long argument we've had before. What's happening?
I mean, they're all vertical spins, but all different, aren't they? Like, you got the vertical spinning disc of Hypershock, you got the vertical spinning drum of Magnetar, you got the overhead saw of Skorpios. So it's all really down to whose weapon hits hardest.
We've never really discussed if Skorpios are going into the arena with their overhead spinner or the saw configuration.
I think, considering they're up against 2 very meaty spinners, they'd probably put their meaty spinner on.
Yeah, that's fair. Glad we got that formality out of the way.
Yeah, but with that being said, I can see them getting yeeted quite easily by Magnetar.
They are very yeetable.
As proven. I mean, I can't remember exactly who it was they fought now, but I distinctly remember them going up against a vert in recent season of BattleBots, and they got
Lockjaw and Black Dragon in an unaired fight. They got thrown about a fair bit.
They got smacked around a lot, and Magnetar is very capable of hitting out the similar kind of hits that both Black Dragon and Lockjaw can hit.
Oh yeah.
So there's that. Hypershock. Hypershock, I think, is actually probably the one that's going to be weakest to Skorpios in this one, because there's a lot of ground clearance and there's a lot of body to hit.
There is. It's very sort of exposed, this new version of Hypershock. I suppose that's probably the downside to it, as proven with the Bite Force fight in the real show, not our version. Hypershock had a wheel removed, the wedge bent up and removed. There was just a lot of damage from that fight.
Yeah, I am honestly saying that going into this, I think Hypershock is probably the weakest link of the lot.
See, this is the thing. I think Skorpios can keep up to Hypershock. Also, would love to see that fight in real life.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, I think it would stay away from Magnetar. I don't know whether Skorpios would be able to control Hypershock enough to get this spinner involved before Hypershock drove away. That
is true. Will Bowers is a very good driver.
He is. He just presses forwards on the stick and goes for it. So obviously,
absolutely mental.
We're in the Robot Wars arena. Would House Robot or any of the arena hazards come into play? Obviously, this is Magnetar's home turf.
Yes, but what thing about Magnetar is it never really used the arena to its advantage, apart from its opponents accidentally driving over a floor flipper. I mean, it never tried to push robots in the pit. It very rarely tried to push robots in the CP7, and when it did, they got attacked by House Robot, which was Matilda in that fight, and screwed over, if you ask me, but that's an argument for another day.
Indeed.
So, yes, it's on their home turf, but Ellis's tactic is always get in there, get all those big hits in, get the KO. He's not the most tactical, at least as far as hazards go.
No. Although
So I don't really think it adds much for Magnetar's favour.
No.
So yeah, but meanwhile, it does add a lot for Scorpios' favour, considering it part of a lot of the robot's design is controlling other robots.
Yeah. See, I think Skorpios would be able to get onto Magnetar and potentially bring down the spinner. Magnetar, I seem to remember not being all that quick. That might just be
Magnetar was pretty slow. It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't like ridiculously slow, but compared to modern standards, it was quite slow. Yes.
Compared to the other two robots that are in the arena at this point in time.
Yes, definitely. So, I mean, Hypershock could just run rings around it, no problem, and Scorpio was no slouch in the moving quickly department. But I don't know. I think also, Matt, one thing that benefits Magnetar is just how small it is.
Yeah, it is very compact.
It's very,
machine.
very compact, and it's very hard for an overhead weapon to make contact with such a small machine.
I've just done a bit of fact checking. 13.5 miles an hour on Magnetar.
Yeah, so compared to that, what's Hypershock, 25?
Oh, God knows.
I mean, well, it's the speed of light, we'll say.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it's quicker than how long it takes for the camera to pan down from the green lights to the freaking battle box.
Yeah. Pan down. Where's it gone?
Yeah, it's like, it's not there. Scorpios, I think, is quicker than that as well. So Magnetar's definitely the slower machine. But I just see it getting all those important big hits in.
Yeah. I'd say it has the most powerful weapon in this fight. The slowest drive. Skorpios is probably... we've all compared it to Wild Thing in the past. It's probably the most durable out of these.
Yeah. It's not gonna die by KO unless the arm dies and it gets flicked over. It's not, or if it gets pushed in the pit. But then again, like I said, that's more its benefit is the pit. Hypershock isn't really. I suppose Hypershock's a good pusher, so maybe.
Yeah. Who do you think's lower, Hypershock or Skorpios?
Hypershock. I think mainly because Scorpios has got that little slot in the front wedge.
Yeah.
And that means
Hypershock wedge. Hypershock.
Yeah, it's perfect size for Hypershock just to slide that wedge underneath.
This is a deceptively difficult.
It is. It is very difficult.
Let's work on discounting one. So Skorpios, Magnetar, Hypershock.
Who do I think?
I think Hypershock.
I think Hypershock's the weakest, just because I think that Scorpios could probably. But then again, saying that, like I said, I think that it's lower than Scorpios now, so I'm not too sure. But also, you've got to consider the fact that there's the arena. Both robots could use the arena to their advantage. So that's another thing you've got to take into consideration. This is annoying, Jevon.
Yeah, really annoying. Hate wheel aside, never using it again. He lied.
Yeah.
For me, I personally think Skorpios is probably the weak link here. Because as we've said, Magnetar does like to smack about them B words in Skorpios. And I'm never saying that again. I've not said it this time either. Magnetar does like to throw around its opponents. Skorpios, as we've seen and as we've said, is easily thrown around. Hypershock, again, is a pretty good yeeting machine. I can see Skorpios falling foul of potentially house robots, or ending up in the pit due to a big hit or something like that, or the floor flipper going off and they're thrown across the arena, or something weird happening. But for me, Skorpios is the weak link here.
It was between that and Hypershock.
Yeah.
And like you said, I can see it eating some really nasty hits from both Magnetar and Hypershock as well. I can see Hypershock take. I mean, I don't think it's much who's the weakest link is. I think it's just more looking at who the strongest link is, and in my opinion, that's Magnetar.
Yeah.
It's compact. It's hard to get a hold of, so that rules Skorpios out, and also it just happily knocks things flying. So Skorpios is gonna get tasty hits from that. And Hypershock been known to be weak to vertical spinners as well. So I can see wheels getting knocked off. I can see wedges getting bent and buggled, and it's just for me personally. I think it's Magnetar's fight.
Cool. So we shall. I agree. Really. It's just a case
even if it's the judges. I mean, I could probably see it going to the judges between all three of them, but on damage and maybe aggression, Hypershock because of how damn quick it is.
Yeah.
But control, sometimes speed isn't always control.
No.
Don't get me wrong, Will Bales controls that thing like a bloody madman. I'll never know how he does it.
It's interesting. I think it's the motors they use or something like that. I was watching a video of the Tantrum team because they've just swapped to the same. I think it's the motors that Hypershock uses. So they can go balls to the wall fast. They also have immense control. They can slow it right down to park it if they wanted to. But again, he's not going to do that in a fight.
No. So I'd say probably, even if it went to the judges, I'd say Magnetar would probably come out on top of this one.
Yeah, I agree. So out of Skorpios, Hypershock, who are we putting where?
I think, I'll go with you and say Scorpios come third. I can see it probably taking the worst hits, considering the two spinners are against it.
Yeah.
So we'll say them third and Hypershock second. Okay, so, Jevon, in the next battle, we have the Brit Flipper that is Toxic 2.
Yeet.
We also have the Brit Crusher that's only known for being a Chinese champion in Spectre.
Nom.
And we've also got the deadly undercutter that is Valkyrie.
Speen.
What house robots are we going to have? Or what house robot are we going to have, shall I say?
Kill a lot.
Killer lot. Okay, that's a wise choice.
Sir K.
Sir K. This is an interesting fight because unlike the last one where we had two very similar robots we had three vertical spinners basically, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yes, they had different ways of doing it and all that, but overall it was three verts going up against each other. This one is three completely different designs.
Yeah. So, my immediate thought to this... I think Anderson's finger's just fallen off.
Yes.
my immediate thought to this fight was a flashback to King of Bots 2. I know, terrible show, but the fights in it, superb in places, not all of them. I'm giving them a lot of credit where it's probably not due. But in the final, there was some amazing fights, and one of those fights was between Vulcan and Spectre. Incredible fight, absolutely loved it. Spectre were thrown all around, managed to get a few grips onto the sort of exposed pipework of Vulcan. Had that not been there, I think Vulcan would have just dominated. And this is where I see Toxic 2. It's a very, very good Brit Flipper.
Yes.
And if its ground clearance is lower than Spectre's, which I personally think it could be because they sharpened that baby before the 2019, was it 2019 or 2018? I forget. But whenever the last time Toxic 2 graced us with its presence, they really did.
2019, I think, was when we last saw them. Because I
right.
remember them beating Mingo. So
yes, that did happen, didn't it?
Yes.
That's how I see that side of the fight going. Now, Valkyrie's the interesting one. Valkyrie could easily just go around the back of Toxic 2 and take out his wheels, sort of PP3D versus Apollo style. The same could be said against Spectre, although we've seen Valkyrie against Quantum, and that fight did not go well for Valkyrie.
No, it didn't. This is very much a rock paper scissors situation for me.
Incredibly so.
Because I think Valkyrie could easily take out Toxic 2. Toxic 2 could easily take out Spectre.
Yeah.
And Spectre could easily take out Valkyrie. So we're bugging again. Wonderful. This wheel is shit. I'm sorry. All right. Okay. When it's a situation like that, you got to look at what is the most likely situation to happen. We're in the arena. So that, I think, benefits Spectre and Toxic 2 quite a lot. Toxic 2 because of the Utuet zones.
Yeah.
And Spectre because of the pit and the other hazards where it's a crusher, it can grab things and drive them where it needs to. So those are two.
Personally, I think the two of them may focus on Valkyrie. It's the big spinner in the fight. It's also the only non-Brit in the fight, so
True.
a little bit of racism.
Britannia! Dun, 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 dun.
Oh god! We've triggered Anderson again.
Charlie from Good Bottle is currently beating his head against the wall in frustration.
So long as that's all he's beating. Good. Moving swiftly on. So, if Toxic 2 stay face onto Valkyrie, they'll do well. If Spectre manage to stay face onto Valkyrie, they'll do well. Valkyrie, I don't see doing well out of this fight.
Yeah, see, it's interesting because when I first went into this, I saw Valkyrie as the strong point. But I will admit that's because I completely forgot that Quantum owned it in Battle Parts.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I forgot that. So of course, now I think about it. Because at first I thought about it, thinking, well, I mean, spinners have shown that they can own Quantum before. Surely Valkyrie's no different, but it was different. And it's also got a very high ground clearance, and undercuts like to go flying, as PP3D has shown in the past.
Yeah.
Being honest, yeah, I can see it being a case of Spectre would probably sort of try and grab it, shove it towards the sidewall, and then in comes Toxic 2 to throw it out.
Yeah. Bit of teamwork.
And then, yeah, bit of teamwork. Teamwork is dreamwork, as they say. And it sucks, because I actually really wanted Valkyrie to win this fight.
Yeah.
I do love Valkyrie. It's one of my favourite, not just BattleBots, one of my favourite robots full stop. I love the design and the idea behind it. But being realistic here, I think what would happen. And then, like you said, I mean, with nothing for... Because the problem is, while Spectre is a damn good crusher, and it can grab a hold of things really well, so it needs something to grab onto.
Yeah, there's just nothing on Toxic 2.
Toxic 2 is a very slippery machine, and the problem is when physics says that when a crusher tries crushing into a wedge, the wedge just slips out of it.
Yeah.
Without anything else to grab onto, there's nothing there to really hit.
And it's just a case of then exposing the sides and the back, and eventually Spectre's Self-Writer may or may not fail them. Which did happen in King of Bots. They couldn't self-write, and Vulcan won the fight. So
yeah. And what's the guy who drives Toxic 2? Is it Terry something?
Oh, that's a good question. I am unsure and checking.
Yeah. Well, whatever his name is, he knows how to drive his machine. There's a reason why Toxic 2 is such a dominant force on the live circuit in the UK. And whilst it's not really a thing that I agree with as such, because I think it is a bit unfair and it does make fights go way too quickly, he is very much an eruption in the fact that he just gets underneath and gets the big yeeky flip out the way as quick as possible.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, a really strong Chinese champion, and he's got the ability to throw it out the arena. He's going to take it, isn't he?
He is. I think. By the way, it is Terry. It's Terry Miles.
I thought it was Terry. I thought it was Terry Mills, but no, it's Terry Miles, isn't it? That's it.
Yeah. I didn't think Toxic 2 would do well, but it seems that they are, and that's just the way that goes, I guess. Spectre, then we're saying, comes second.
Yes.
And
yes.
That means that Valkyrie. Oh dear, I've seen what happens to Valkyrie. Toxic 2, however, progressed to the semi-finals free of charge. Bit of a shock that, but there we are.
Yeah, and I'm gutted because I just worked out what happens to Valkyrie as well.
Yeah, I was going to say Redemption A. Does it matter who the house robots are?
No, not really, but screw it. I'm going to throw Matilda and Dead Metal.
Fair enough. They're the only two we've not seen. So, cool.
Yeah.
Anderson.
Yep.
I see this as an Uta. And I see this as a very, very quick Uta.
Bear with me. I'm trying to remember who's in part number A. I thought this was Hypershock versus Valkyrie.
It is.
An Uta?
An Uta. Think about the starting positions of the two robots.
Yes.
Now think about what Hypershock did to Valkyrie last time.
Very good point.
Yeeted it upwards, and Valkyrie
it literally box rushed it and just smacked it one, didn't it?
Literally nowhere for Valkyrie to go. Activate called, Hypershocks across the arena, whack in the face, and Valkyrie's waking up in the audience's lap.
And even if that didn't happen,
I really want to check the height of that hit.
Yeah. We can edit it in here, post-production.
I'm not doing that. That sounds like work.
Fair enough. That's laziness, yeah. So we're too lazy for that, sorry, yeah. But I will be honest, though, if that didn't happen, Valkyrie did lose to Aftershock pretty easily. Yes, they might have been having problems, but at the same time, I think that was mainly because Aftershock just literally went straight for the box rush and hit them so hard anyway.
Okay, I've misremembered how hard they hit them.
Oh.
It wasn't quite as hard as I thought.
Do you want to restart this bit then?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm happy to admit I'm wrong.
Fair. Either way, the way I look at it is I don't really see... If anything, the Robot Wars Arena benefits Hypershock even more than the Battle Box does.
Yeah.
It's got the pit, it's got the CPZs, it's got the hazards. Hypershock only has to push them into those areas. They proved in that battle that they were more than capable of pushing Valkyrie around. It sucks because I love Valkyrie and I really wanted it to do really well in this final, but it's not happening, unfortunately, is it? And I can see Valkyrie losing here.
Yeah, history repeats itself. Different arena, different country, but Hypershock versus Valkyrie is Hypershock versus Valkyrie.
Yeah, that's the way I look. I mean, the way I look at it is, this arena benefits Hypershock more than it does Valkyrie. In an arena where it benefits Hypershock more, then surely Hypershock has to win, considering it won in the Battle Box. And to be honest, I think the Battle Box suits Hypershock more anyway.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to go with Hypershock on that one, aren't we?
We are indeed. Hypershock move through to the semis. We'll decide where they go in a minute.
Gutted.
Yes, Valkyrie were by Hypershock. And now we move on to Redemption B. And this could be an interesting one as well. This is Skorpios versus Spectre.
Oh, yes.
House robot wise, I think we might just keep Matilda and Dead Metal. They didn't do anything in the last fight.
Yeah. Okay. This is annoyingly tough, this one, because I can see both robots doing really well against each other. First of all, I actually think Skorpios will go for their saw on this one.
Interesting. I don't.
You don't? Oh, God, here we go. I suppose, actually, yeah, because they want to do as much damage to the arm as possible, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
All right, okay, then.
Depends on whether... Does the saw count for more aggression than the overhead spinner?
I don't know. I don't really think it matters too much, to be honest.
Okay.
If anything, I'd say the saw is probably. So I'd say the disc is more aggressive because when it's the saw, the arm moves slower.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the when it's the spinner, it does act like a hammer in the fact that it swings backwards and forwards with quite a lot of force.
The hammer, or not hammer, the overhead spinner. That was a close one. When that's going over, it probably counts more towards aggression, whereas the saw might count towards control. I don't know, but anyway.
Yeah. See, the problem is this. The way I see this battle happening is the following: it's just going to literally be a case of Quantum grabbing a hold of Skorpios and holding it, maybe crushing it, and whilst it's in its jaws, Skorpios is going to be hitting it with the saw.
Yeah.
That is essentially what this fight's going to be. And being 100% honest, considering we're in the Robot Wars arena and we've got the CPZs and the pit and the hazards, I say that benefits in this situation Quantum because it can just grab them and take them where it wants to.
Spectre,
sorry, fuck's sake.
I mean, they are practically identical.
One's got a blue wedge, one has got a grey wedge. Deal with it. That's literally the difference.
Even the grey wedged one had a blue wedge at some point.
Did it really?
Yeah,
Oh Jesus!
they swapped and changed so much. But yeah, if I hadn't seen a picture of them next to each other, I'd just think they're the same machine. But there we are. Yeah, I kind of agree. Spectre obviously have a massive advantage in the fact that they're the creators of this arena and House Robots, and they run the show. But we won't discuss that because that breaks canon and fourth walls galore.
Yes.
On a case of this, I think I agree. Skorpios has a lot of biteable area, and they're sort of off to the sides. I wonder whether Skorpios would be able to bring down the hammer saw onto anything vital from where Spectre has them in a grab. I'm not sure though. I think I might be misremembering what Spectre looks like, or like how. I don't know.
Well, look at your model. It's amazing. Come on.
My wholly inaccurate Lego model with.
What do you mean inaccurate? It's brilliant.
It is. It's made of Lego for starters.
True.
It is a very nice model. Don't get me wrong. It's one of my favourites. But yeah, no.
Hence the incredible bias in your Clash of the
There was
Champions.
not bias at all. I mean, the whole thing lost its bloody head. Again, not realistic.
Okay, MLU4. All right.
Shade.
Oh dear. Anyway, back to this. Yeah. So what are we saying then? What are we saying?
Sorry to MLU4, I guess, but no, I think you're right. And much as it pains me to say, because I do love Skorpios, Spectre, I love it more, and therefore shall win.
Being honest, I was hoping for a Skorpios Valkyrie final. I love them.
Really?
Yeah, because I just love them both so much, and they're both such different, unique, cool ideas. I love them to bits. So I'm a bit upset about that, but I have to go with the gut, and the gut says that Spectre will win this fight. I don't think it would be BattleBots, but in this arena, it does.
I don't know. I'm interested to see if Quantum comes back, what they do. I have high hopes for it.
Yes.
Not as high hopes as a couple of other robots that are competing that have potential to take trophies in 3 countries. No.
It's his favourite robot, guys. Did you know that? He hates Cobalt.
It'll all be over soon. Anyway, so yeah, there we go. Skorpios out. Tough luck. Semi 1, I've already made an executive decision. I'm swapping over the robots that haven't fought each other yet. So in Semi 1, we have Magnetar against Spectre. And for the house, would you like to pick one?
I will pick one, and I'm going to pick Sir
Killalot, and I shall pick Matilda again because, you know, consistent.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Magnetar Spectre.
Oof, this is a tough one. Again. But, question. Spectre's teeth, getting knocked off, didn't they?
They did.
I can see that happening in this fight, because problem again with Magnetar, like I said, is because it's so small, when you're going to grab it, there is a strong chance you're going to make contact with that spinner.
So it seems to be that Team Robo Challenge's tactic is to stuff that tooth as far into the spinner as they possibly can.
Yeah.
It was their tactic in many fights in King of Bots, in BattleBots they did it against Death Roll, successfully I should add, but
yes, it's successfully against Death Roll, so maybe they reinforced the teeth, but that was for Quantum, not Spectre, so I'm not sure.
Well, this version of Spectre came after Quantum, so I would say because they're improving it robot upon robot, it doesn't matter if it's in China or America, they're making those mods to make it the best machine it possibly could be, which I quite like, really.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And also they're definitely cheating the game and
Yeah.
having twice as many opportunities to make their robot better than everyone else. But
All in the fun of robot combat.
what they like. Yeah, I can also see Spectre losing the teeth here because it doesn't matter how much you reinforce them, Magnetar's taking it off.
Yes.
That said, Spectre has some little teeth that it can still grapple and control with.
Yes. Now the question is, do we? It's going to really come down to ground clearance. Who's lower, Spectre or Magnetar?
I think it might be Spectre.
I do too.
And the difference between a fight like this and a fight like Spectre versus 2 Barbecue, 2 Barbecue had the 2 wedgelets at the sides, and Spectre has some raised areas at the sides of their wedge, which means that 2 Barbecue could get straight under and the spinner could hit the centre of the wedge. Whereas here, Magnetar's little sort of plate things it has at the front are sort of around where Spectre's are. Spectre is also faster, very torquey, got good pushing power, more so than I think Magnetar does. So although Spectre's losing teeth, I see...
They proved in King of Bots 1 when they took on, is it Thunder and Lightning, that cluster bot?
Yes.
Yeah, they proved in that they were able to still grab a hold of a robot and control it even without the teeth. Yeah, being 100% honest, I as much as it pains me because I wanted Magnetar to do well as well. But the thing I love Spectre, so it doesn't really matter. I think Spectre would win. I think it would go to the judges. And on control and aggression, I'd say Spectre because I think they'd be constantly bringing the fight to them.
Yeah.
Because they want to grab a hold of them.
Spectre's whole MO is aggression.
Yeah, but Magnetar is very much a robot where, yes, they try and get those hits in, but they also have to try and maneuver into a position where they can get to you.
Yeah.
Spectre is just get in and grab. Sometimes it works well for them, other times it doesn't. Look at his fight against Tombstone last year. As Quantum, I admit, but still,
I can see Spectre taking Magnetar over to the floor flipper. I can see Spectre putting them on the fire, putting them on the spikes, putting them in the pit, putting them in house robots. This fight is just Spectre's for me.
Yeah, and it sucks, but at the same time it rules, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'm gonna say Spectre.
So Spectre through to the title match, the grand final matchup, the ultimate grand final, the Armageddon. I don't know words. The
final. Just the final. The final. There's no final.
The final.
The final.
Before we get to that, we have 2 more fights to go through. So semi-final 2 is between Toxic 2 and Hypershock. For the house,
I'm going to say, on my part, Dead Metal.
Yeah, and I'm going to tag team with Shunt.
Saucy. Oh, God, I see Toxic winning again.
Oh!
I do. The ground clearance on Hypershock is a lot. And I'm almost certain Toxic would be lower at the front. I might be wrong. If Hypershock is lower at the front, then I can definitely see Toxic's flipper getting buggered, which would probably mean it loses. But
I don't think Hypershock would try and box rush.
Oh, really? To be honest, if it did box rush, it would either either 3 things would happen. Either A, it would be lower at the front and it would wreck the flipper.
Yeah.
B, it would go so fast into Toxic's wedge that it would just go right over it and fly out the arena. Which would be awesome, to be honest, to see. That would be great. And then, of course, the other option is that Toxic 2 will just get underneath it and flip it a bit.
Have you seen the fight between Hypershock and Hydra?
Was that on the actual main television show?
No, it was an unaired basement fight.
No, I haven't then. I'm afraid.
I'm going to send it to you.
Ooh, Donnie, I look forward to seeing this.
Well,
oh, yeah, I see. It doesn't go for the box rush. And it gets launched. Jesus.
It goes a long way up.
It does. I think that's it. Oh, wait, no. There is movement. It's not going to self-right. It's already smoking. Oh, Jesus. Oh! Well, I can see why that wasn't aired.
I can, and also I'm upset that it wasn't. I think it was a bonus fight that they did at the end of filming. Wasn't part of the regular run.
That's brilliant.
My question to you is a Brit Flipper going to have the same effect as Hydra did?
I think personally, yeah, I do. I think I don't think that Hypershock would go up as high. Obviously, that's rubbish. That would never happen. Not with Toxic 2. Yes, it's a powerful flipper. It's not that powerful. But at the same time, you can't argue with the fact that flipper is strong. And it's just depends. Do we think Hypershock is lower at the front or not?
Do we think that Hypershock would box rush? I'm going to bring us back around to that conversation because I think they might go for the sides because they are very
that's
flat.
what I'm thinking. They wouldn't just charge straight at a wedge. I think that they would try and get round the side, and maybe it would work for them. Because Toxic 2 is very exposed at the sides.
Yeah. And not overly spinner-proof. But I can't deny the flipper is... Oh, this is really annoying. I don't know. I don't know, Jevon. I think the... What's going to boil down to... Hypershock's Shremek. Because I can see Toxic 2 getting a successful flip on Hypershock.
Oh, yeah, it's only a matter of time, I guess, isn't it?
Hypershock Shremek let them down in the BattleBots 2019 season. And that is what we're looking at. I know it was more reliable at Robot Ruckus, but that was after, and that doesn't count towards this. And for me, personally, I think Hypershock is weaker upside down, especially against a big flipper like Toxic 2.
Yep, it's got a much higher ground clearance, and that thing can go flying.
So... I think I can agree with a Toxic 2 win. I didn't think I would.
No, I'm thinking Toxic 2. Part of me does still think Hypershock could maybe if it was lower at the front, but I don't think it is.
I think it's lower at the front at a very narrow point, and if Toxic just turned very slightly and then turned back into them, they would have the ground clearance.
Yeah. So we're going to say Toxic 2?
Weirdly, yeah.
This thing is just defying all the odds. So I thought this was going to go around 1, and it's still here. All right.
Third place playoff then. Hypershock versus Magnetar. And we've seen this fight.
We have. We saw it earlier on.
Do either of them change tactics? Do Hypershock change tactics now there's not a Skorpios in the arena?
I think they'd go box rush.
Do you think they'd be successful in their box rush?
I don't know, because I don't know if it's lower at the front or not. Again, this is the ground clearance is so freaking important, man. It's unreal.
Yeah.
Being honest, no. I think Magnetar's lower at the front. I think it's got the more powerful spinner. I can see Hypershock getting yeeted and smacked around quite a lot and losing either via the judges or via a very convincing KO.
The only way I can see Hypershock winning this fight is if it manages to get round behind Magnetar, which it isn't impossible because it's fast and Magnetar arms. If they get the Shremek and manage to yeet them over, there's a chance for Hypershock.
That is true.
Do we think that is what I like to refer to as a snipe shot?
It is a snipe shot.
Is it doable?
It is doable.
Is it likely to happen?
Probably not. I don't know. It's annoying because Magnetar, when it worked, I mean, the only thing that really let it down was its Shremek.
Oh, who are the house robots? Sorry.
Oh,
to format point.
I'm going to say Matilda.
Yeah, I was already writing them in.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say Shunt again. Oh God, I've selected the entire Word document. There we go. Okay, yeah. So you were saying?
I've forgotten. Oh yeah, it's Shremek was the only thing that really let it down. Again, both sorts have the same problem. There, Shremek is what mainly let them down in their most recent season or series, whatever you want to call it. This is irritating. This is very irritating. I don't know. I genuinely, I do think Magnetar, just because it has the less exposed wheels, there's a lot less of it to hit, and it's more compact.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there and say Magnetar takes the 3rd place in this series.
Okie dokie.
Which isn't a result to be sniffed at, really.
No. I mean, considering we've taken some of the best machines from many different tournaments
and Steel God of War.
shows.
Yeah, and Steel God of War.
Yeah, and Steel God of War. We had that in there, and Cobalt. No, we didn't have Cobalt, did we?
Didn't have Cobalt. Yeah, up yours. We had Minotaur, and it lost. Haha.
I know. I'm really upset about that. Shut up. So yeah, I think that's a very. To be honest, making it 4th is a very. I think. What's the word I'm looking for here?
Didn't Hypershock come somewhere near there for BattleBots 2016?
What, 4th?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
No, I don't think they made the top 16.
For the 2016 season, they did.
Oh, 2016 season. Sorry.
And they were,
they didn't come 4th, but I think they were maybe in the top 8.
smacking drones out the air.
Yeah. No, because 3rd and 4th went to Yeti and Minotaur, I believe. Yes. Tombstone beat Yeti and Bombshell beat Minotaur.
Weird.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Let's do the grand final, shall we? House robots, please.
Dead Metal.
Dead Metal and Sir Killalot.
Yep, that sounds good to me.
Doesn't matter. No, we're back here.
We're back here again.
I'll be honest. One of my favourite fights from last year was Vulcan versus Spectre, and it's sort of a dream that Spectre should be fighting another Brit Flipper, and we saw this earlier. And how has this happened? How have we allowed this to happen?
I don't know, but it looks like Toxic 2 is going to be the champion.
How have we done this?
I don't know. But to be honest, I'm kind of happy in a way because it's not one of the obvious choices.
No, it was really... I mean, if you've been listening to our commentary all the way through, every turn has been a surprise for Toxic 2.
Yeah, we're just like, how is it going through? How is it winning every single fight?
It beat Monsoon.
I know.
And then it beat Valkyrie and Spectre and... and then it beat Hypershock. And now it's going to beat Spectre again.
Yep. And it's going to win the trophy. Which just proves to the whole world that British engineering and British flippers are the superior. Just saying.
We've gone wrong somewhere, I'm sure. I don't know how we managed to get to this scenario again.
I don't know. But I'm not going back on it now.
No.
Fuck it.
I think we can all agree here. Lightning strikes twice, although they're not in this fight. But Toxic 2... Spectre literally has nothing to get hold of. It has less to get hold of in this fight than it did against Vulcan.
Yeah.
And that means that Toxic 2... And unless Spectre are pushing him around, and honestly, I don't see it.
I mean, if Spectre was to come up to them head on, I could see it maybe doing some damage to the flipper.
See, even then, I don't know, because of the way the teeth bite. I think it's just going to...
Slip out?
Yeah, it's just going to...
Yeah.
into the flipper.
I've got the ridiculously big Uta zones, so there's nothing stopping Toxic 2 from doing its usual. Ladies and gentlemen, Toxic 2 are the first ever Judge's Decision Fantasy League champions.
And who knows, maybe they'll be the last ever.
Yeah, because this was evil. But it was also good fun. I wouldn't mind doing it again, and I wouldn't mind having seeds and stuff. Maybe updating it. You know, maybe having it so it takes place in a different arena next time.
The King of Bots. No.
No.
Never that.
We could make our own arena for it.
We could do. We could make our own judging criteria.
We could.
We could have guests suggesting robots.
We could have guests suggesting robots, and we could make this a really big thing. But that does sound like a lot of effort, and I can't bother, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it's taken 8 months to get through all this. Let's leave it for a bit.
We'll definitely leave it for a bit.
We're there.
We are there.
Toxic 2 take the championship. And
fair.
We can sleep, Anderson. We can leave it where it is.
We can sleep. We can leave it where it is. We may bring this back. I actually do quite like the idea of us bringing it back and making it a little bit different and those improvements you said. But it won't be for a while. We've both got a lot on our plates right now. And
yes. I mean, there's this bloody
maybe even a project just waiting for next year. Just let 2020 get out the fucking way, and then 2021 we can do that.
Maybe we'll do a couple of Christmas specials. Who knows?
Yeah, we might do like a Christmas special, maybe a Halloween special.
Maybe not.
Some spooky robots. No,
maybe not.
You're boring.
I am.
And you smell.
Sure.
But yeah. So there we are.
Anderson, it has been a pleasure to have you throughout this. I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own, because it would have been awful to listen to just me deciding fights.
The pleasure's all mine. It's been great fun. I love doing this, and to be honest, I would like to do it again in the future. So yeah.
Good. Well, that is that. Thank you all for sticking with us for 8 months. Personally, I'm very sorry it took this long, mainly because it's been looming over us. In fact, it wasn't until the other day I remembered that it was a thing and that we hadn't finished it still.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Thank you for being patient, and hopefully we will see you again soon.
Yeah.
Ish.
Not that soon. Not for this. Something else, please.
Yeah, different. Yeah. I tell you what, it's almost as if. I mean, it's a good thing that I'm uploading Rebirth 3 at the moment, isn't it?
It's very good.
Yeah.
Gotta love Rebirth 3.
Yeah. It was just... If only we had Grand Slam 2 going along with it.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. Never ever going to happen. Rebirth 5 will come out before Grand Slam 2.
Oh, bless him.
Bye, everyone.
Tatty bye-bye.
Toxic 2-1. What the...
Fuck me.
I mean, Jesus wept.